Hi, Cami. We appreciate you jumping on the call today. We were very honored that you let us represent you and your business, and had a lot of fun selling that business for you. So, if you don't mind, can you just kind of introduce yourself and tell us, what made you choose Website Closers to represent you and your company?
Yeah. So my name is Darnell, and I have for the last 10 years been the owner and creator of a company called Simple Sarongs. And a few years ago, I was working with a marketing group that sold a lot of or helped businesses up their game on Amazon. And in talking about their businesses, also presented ideas for that end game of when you might want to sell your business and what that would look like and who you could work with. And one of the names that came up was Website Closers. And I really liked the idea that they worked with itty bitty companies to large companies, and kind of helping them through the process of what selling a business looked like and what was reasonable to expect. I just really felt comfortable with who Website Closers was, and was happy to, even though I didn't really move forward with the sale at that time a few years ago, when I was ready to go ahead and move forward with that, then it was like the first thing that I had on the top of my list.
Very nice.
Now that happened, sounds like you did a little bit of research up front. What was the turning point and made you decide you wanted to sell?
I think every owner, that's a different answer for different owners. I'd hit a milestone. I'd hit 10 years, which I think in the back of my mind was kind of was a goal. There were some changes in just, business that I wasn't keeping up with, that I knew that in order to really take it to the next level and keep growing the business, that I needed somebody kind of with a fresh eyes. And so you kind of get to that point where, well, I can kind of figure this out. A lot of people do, or I am ready to hand it over to somebody else who can and has figured it out. So, and that's kind of where I was.
So it's very interesting. So, a lot of people don't know this, but it's a lot of work when you go to sell a business sometimes. How did you feel about the onboarding process and like the data collection and the whole going to market process? Was it pretty smooth and easy to do? Was there anything you would recommend, other business owners prepare for in the future when they're looking to sell their businesses?
Yeah, I think that your numbers and books, and know what needs catching up, where you maybe haven't been as clean in your reporting, not that you were not reporting it correctly, but just making sure that things that should be allocated in certain areas were correct. And just kind of going through all those numbers was something that, yes, it's time consuming, but it's really important if you want to sell your business, just like you have to maybe repaint your house when you go to sell it. So it's not that you didn't have any paint on the walls, but you needed a fresh coat. So that's kind of where I think I looked at it. And the time that was spent was manageable. The questionnaire, I really enjoyed, the questionnaires that were asked, so that I could really showcase my business and create the type of listing that hopefully would attract the type of buyer that I was going for.
Right. And so I'm not sure if you were aware of the amount of buyers that we did talk to throughout the process, but we ran some numbers and everything. We had about 78 interested buyers into Simple Sarongs. And so just trying to get an understanding from your perspective, how did the vetting of the buyer process feel on your side? When we did set up those buyer calls with you, did you feel like they were good, capable buyers and everything? Just understanding that experience.
Yeah, I think so. I think you listened to kind of who and what I was looking for. So I'm guessing that we talked to maybe 6 or 7, so only 10%, which I didn't realize that you had to kind of funnel through that many. So that's amazing. But yeah, I feel like they were people who had 1 or 2 things in their bio portfolio that would have made them a good fit. And, there's maybe a couple of things that maybe wouldn't have made them a good fit. And, but I think, we saw a few of those things that were enough to tell me that, yeah, they they could take this business over.
Awesome.
How was the whole closing process when we finally introduced the right buyer for you and your business, and you met the buyer? And how did you think that process went? Was it smooth? The closing process, how did that go? A lot of times people forget how many things you have to transfer over when you're selling an e-commerce company, so it can be a lot. But what did you think about that?
I thought it was actually pretty easy because there wasn't, a list of things that I knew that was going to need to be transferred, and it forced me to kind of organize my files so that they would be easily transferred over, which that was going to have to be done regardless. So I all in all, it was done fairly quickly. So again, it was just having that list to go off of so that you are making sure that you're thinking of everything and have everything kind of ready to go on when it's time.
What else you got, Mike?
No, I just say, would you recommend, using Mike and website closures to any of your friends and everything like that?
Well, yes. And I will say that I appreciated, really in the setting up the listing process and how you guys really worked to advise me on how to maybe change some of the ways I had been accounting for things to make, what the true picture of my company make more sense to a buyer. And so that was something that was easy enough to do. You recommended an accountant that I could work with that was great and helped me kind of make that updates that I need to do. And so I think that was really helpful. And then when I started seeing the emails that I got on the email list of seeing all the new businesses coming in, and saw that it was a pretty small business for what website closers can do, and yet I never really felt like I was just a small little customer to you. You made me feel like I was just as important as any other person listing their business, whether it's several $1 million or smaller. So I really appreciated that. So yes, I would recommend you guys to my friends who are very curious, to know how this process has gone. So I'm sure you'll be hearing from a few of them.
Thank you. We appreciate that. That means a lot. If my wife were here, she would probably be crying now after hearing that.
I'm trying not to cry.
Well,
and by the way, we do offer a 10% referral fee, just so you know. So if you have any business owners you send our way, once their companies close, 10% of our gross commission, we wire right to your account.
Okay.
Definitely a perk for you to spread the word.
All right. Well, that sounds good.
We always like to stay in touch with our past clients too, to see how things are going. And if you ever are interested in you're looking at another business yourself, you know where to come. And it's been a pleasure working with you for sure. And I hope to stay in touch in the future.
Good. Well, I like to hear that.